Hello and welcome to our lesson on identifying and avoiding pitfalls. This segment will continue to cover tool pitfall hotspot. Initiation. Analysis. Paralysis happens mostly during this phase. Planning. Paralysis may continue here as the team is reluctant to get started. Closing. Late delivery and missed deadlines are the most common consequences of this early project problem. Planning. The conditions that cause a death march, unrealistic schedule, and too large scope typically occur during planning. Execution. As the project becomes more and more delinquent, morale drops. Closing. Team members who stuck it out must be rewarded appropriately after delivery or may leave. Initiation. Delays at the beginning of the project are often the cause of fire drills. Execution. As deadlines approach and are consistently not met, the chaotic nature of a fire drill can worsen. Initiation. If contractors or external resources are to be used, they must be closely managed from the very beginning. Planning. As part of planning efforts, contingencies can be created to identify appropriate resources. Execution. Looming deadlines can tempt adding resources, but the wrong people can worsen the situation. Initiation. Early phases are skipped or rushed to get to the actual work. Planning, requirements, specifications efforts are skipped, designs are rushed, and risks are not considered. Closing. Delayed delivery is the most common result of rushing to execution. Initiation. Early on, the appropriate project scope is established. Planning. Some scope creep may occur during planning. Execution. Both the team and stakeholders can add to the execution scope. Closing. The project triangle, increased scope requires more time or resources, resulting in a late or over-budget project. Anti-pattern. A commonly occurring behavior is counterproductive to those who engage in it. The antithesis of a pattern. Downstream. The parts of a project or process that occur after a given point. For example, delivery is generally downstream to execution. Contrasts with upstream. Pattern. A generally reusable solution to a common problem. The antithesis of the anti-pattern. Thrashing. A lack of organization and process causes non-productive, inefficient work effort. Upstream, the parts of a project or process that occur before a given stage. For example, design is generally upstream to execution, contrasts with downstream. Practical leadership strategies to handle project pitfalls. Proactive risk management. Project leaders should implement proactive risk management practices to identify, assess, and mitigate potential risks early in the project lifecycle. This involves conducting comprehensive risk assessments, developing contingency plans, and regularly monitoring and reassessing risks throughout the project. By anticipating and addressing potential pitfalls in advance, project leaders can minimize their impact on project outcomes. Effective communication. Clear and effective communication is essential for navigating project pitfalls. Project leaders should establish open lines of communication with team members, stakeholders, and other relevant parties to ensure transparency, alignment, and collaboration. Regular project meetings, status updates, and progress reports can help keep stakeholders informed and engaged, facilitating smoother project execution. Stakeholder engagement and management. Engaging stakeholders early is often critical for managing expectations, gaining buy-in, and proactively addressing concerns. Project leaders should actively solicit feedback, involve stakeholders in decision-making, and cultivate positive relationships built on trust and mutual respect. By fostering strong stakeholder relationships, project leaders can mitigate the risk of misunderstandings and conflicts arising during the project lifecycle. Adaptive leadership. Project leaders must demonstrate adaptability and flexibility in response to changing circumstances and unforeseen challenges. Adaptive leadership involves being proactive, resourceful, and resilient in adversity. Project leaders should encourage innovation, empower team members to find creative solutions, and adapt project plans to address emerging issues and opportunities. Strategic resource allocation. Effective resource allocation is crucial for optimizing project performance and minimizing the risk of resource-related pitfalls. Project leaders should carefully assess requirements, allocate resources strategically, and monitor resource utilization to ensure optimal productivity and efficiency. This may involve leveraging technology, outsourcing specific tasks, or reallocating resources based on evolving project needs. Continuous learning and improvement. Project leaders should foster a culture of continuous learning and improvement within their teams and organizations. Encouraging knowledge sharing, conducting post-project reviews, and embracing lessons learned can help identify areas for improvement and prevent recurring pitfalls in future projects. By embracing a growth mindset and promoting a culture of innovation, project leaders can drive ongoing excellence and success. Handling project pitfalls requires a proactive and strategic approach grounded in effective leadership, communication, risk management, and stakeholder engagement. By adopting practical strategies tailored to the unique challenges of each project, project leaders can navigate obstacles, mitigate risks, and drive successful project outcomes. Moreover, embracing continuous learning and improvement enables project leaders to adapt to changing circumstances, leverage opportunities, and deliver value to stakeholders. Ultimately, organizations can enhance project success rates and achieve their strategic objectives in an increasingly complex and competitive business environment by empowering project leaders with the tools, skills, and resources needed to handle common pitfalls. Although these pitfalls seem diverse, avoiding and resolving them long-term requires the following: an awareness of both what can happen and when it is most likely to occur, diligence and continuous introspection, management and leadership support, and a deliberate culture shift within the team and organization. All these criteria are necessary because projects and their teams continuously feel the downstream effects of events and decisions that have occurred beforehand. If a pitfall has previously happened, changing the conditions that led to it requires a concerted effort by parties at all levels, or it's likely to occur again. As project leaders, we can effect a change in all of these areas. One common excuse is to cite the powerlessness some project leaders feel within their larger organization. While it may not always be possible to affect the structures around you, it's essential to realize that each project team can have its microculture. Within this microculture are possibilities that defy the more significant norm. This project effectively manages responsibility, priority, and communication while not losing sight of the goals and objectives set at initiation. Nothing speaks louder than a successful leader and team completing a successful project. As a project leader, you have the power to leverage the patterns covered already. Both the success you experience and the positive change you can enact within the world around you are limited only by your perseverance and passion in applying the skills you have taken the time to gather and perfect. This is the end of our lesson. This course is presented to you by South Europe College. Thank you for listening and see you on our next lesson.